Hello, everyone. JLR investigates. Wild scene coming out of Idaho. A new case. And I saw this that's kind of breaking on the wires here in reference to 4 homicides in Idaho. A new case. Looks like Ann Taylor's probably going to have her hands full again with a new case because it's pretty close to Kootenai County. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming on. So there's this case out of Idaho that's starting to break. And, first thing I saw from it, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a Bryan Kohberger copycat? Because a guy by the name of Majorjon Kaylor, if I'm saying his last name right, Kaylor, Kaylor, went into his neighbor's home and murdered 4 people. 4 people. 4 people are dead in Kellogg, Idaho. Shoshone County. 4 people. This is wild. And he's like going through the process now. Like this guy is going through the process right now. Like going to court, literally. He's literally going to court. Right now. Look, I'm going to show you. Guy's going to court. This guy. Look at that guy. That guy just got arrested for killing 4 of his neighbors in Idaho. Now the question is, what is this about? What is this about? Because it happened, it seemed like it just happened. And it's so strange because that guy's name, Majorjon Kaylor, interesting name, right? Majorjon Kaylor. His family has already started a GoFundMe. And the victims' families, which I don't even know who the actual victims are. They're not identifying the victims yet. But the victims' family has also set up a GoFundMe. And this is this is close to Moscow, Idaho. They're already dealing with their tragedy, but it looks like we're going to have a new cases of interest in Idaho. What in the world is going on in Idaho, people? What is going on in Idaho? First you had, Lori Vallow Daybell. Then you had the Moscow tragedy. Now you have a new tragedy. 4 people killed. 31-year-old. Check this out. This is wild. And this is all like a fluid situation. So a lot of info is not out at this time. Yeah, a GoFundMe set up for him. So I guess it's called Shoshone. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Someone correct me. County jail confirms identity of Kellogg murder suspect. 31-year-old Majorjon Kaylor. And what happened here is the Shoshone County Jail confirmed with 4 News Now on Tuesday, June 20th, that 31-year-old Majorjon Kaylor has been booked on first-degree murder and burglary charges. Kaylor is accused of killing 4 people at an apartment complex on Sunday. 4 people. Just got off the phone with Shoshone County that confirmed 31-year-old Majorjon Kaylor is booked on first-degree murder and burglary charges. I am en route to Shoshone County for his first court appearance later this morning. Idaho State Police had previously confirmed that the accused, Kaylor, was the victim's neighbor. The Shoshone County Coroner's Office will release the victims' names, but ISP did not say when that will happen. Kaylor is expected to make his first court appearance in Wallace on Tuesday, June 20th at 10 a.m. This guy. Now let's read some details, right? Shoshone. Thank you. Thank you, Rose. 6600. Shoshone. A new case, people. But it seems like this is wild because at first I was like, oh my gosh, is this a copycat? Is this a Kohberger copycat? Is this some guy that said, because as soon as I heard 4 people, Killed, I'm like, what? What in the world is going on here? What in the world is in the water in Idaho lately? We're talking about big cases. But I want to share some insight here because first off, I'm going to read this heavy.com. Heavy.com is good. It's an article that when these situations come out, they're like the first to get out the actual details about the case. So let me spin this around and then we'll discuss. Majorjon Kaylor, Kellogg, Idaho. Father is in custody. So there he is. And it looks like he's a miner. They're reporting that the guy is a miner. Miner meaning a mine guy. Like goes into caves and mines and does mining work. Majorjon Kaylor is a miner and married father of 3 who is in custody in the city of Kellogg, Idaho. According to official at the Shoshone County Jail. The Shoshone County Sheriff's Office wrote in a Facebook post on June 18th at approximately 7:30 p.m., the Kellogg Police Department and the SCSO responded to the city of Kellogg reference 4 people deceased from gunshot wounds. 4 people. An official at the Shoshone County Jail confirmed to Heavy on June 19th, 2023 that Kaylor was in custody but said he hadn't been booked yet into the jail. He said he could not say whether Kaylor was in custody for the shootings or something else until the sheriff issued another press conference. Kaylor goes by Majorjon Kaylor on Facebook. His full name is Major John Martin Kaylor. However, a GoFundMe page reads, "My name is Buddy Kaylor. I am trying to raise money for my sister-in-law and 3 small children for rent, groceries, and the necessities to live after this tragic event. After enduring continuous, unthinkable sexual harassment by a neighbor, the current situation has left my brother in jail and the 3 kids and mom without a provider. Thank you for your donations. Anything helps. Here's what we know. Authorities confirmed that a suspect is in custody in the 4 homicides, but hasn't confirmed the suspect's name. The Sheriff's Department wrote in its news release that the suspect in the 4 homicides is in custody. The suspect has been detained and there is no threat to the community. This investigation is ongoing with KPD, Kellogg Police Department, and ISP, Idaho State Police, as the primary investigators. They will release more details as the investigation continues, the release says. Authorities have not yet named the suspect or victims or released additional details of the shootings. Majorjon Kaylor's wife recently wished a happy Father's Day to the best dad ever. On Father's Day, Kaylor's wife, Kaylee Kaylor, that's her name, wrote on Facebook, "Happy Father's Day to the best dad ever. I see you and all that you do for your kids and you work hard. Stand your ground and don't give up. You're the exact person I want our kids looking up to. Our life together is the greatest, and I'm so amazingly lucky to have someone like you as the father to my children. The kids and I love you. Can't wait for you to get home from work." The post is no longer visible, however. Both Kaylors filled their Facebook pages with family photos. Now, what this seems like it is some sort of vigilante some sort of vigilante justice. Some sort of vigilante justice, because someone posted what is going on here. And apparently this Major Kaylor guy had a problem with his next door neighbor exposing himself to Kaylor's children. That's what it seems like this is the issue here. But instead of calling the police, so this is his Facebook page. This is the guy that's currently in custody right now. Kellogg, Idaho. Married to Kaylee Kaylor. Majorjon Kaylor. I will never give up. I will never take the easy way out. This life is a struggle. And they edited out his children. This is him with his children, right? This is him with his children. Faces are redacted here. And so what happened here, this is interesting. So I'm going to read this because this might be the motive here. This could be what went down. So we got new downstairs neighbors 2 weeks ago. They have 2 teenage boys. One just graduated and the other one does next year. We share a backyard. My kids stay on their side, but they are out there a lot. They jump on the trampoline with the sprinkler. Almost every single time the older boy goes outside on his porch and seems to be watching them. I tried to brush it off since it's their yard, but my mama gut couldn't shake it. I was outside with Emery and Ellie coloring with chalk in our backyard tonight when Emery says, "Mom, the boy is in the window," and she seems shocked. I say, "Yes, it's their house. It's fine." And she goes, "No, Mom, the boy, he is shaking his," and you see that word right there. This dude was staring out the window directly at my girls and beating his, you see that word, off. I saw his naked body jump up on his bunk bed and shoot back. I make an effort to not look in their windows, so the fact that he was standing right in front of it and my daughter saw everything is absolutely disgusting, especially because she was on the opposite side of our climbing dome, as far away in the yard as she could be on our side. Not even close to his window. Why were you staring in their direction? I immediately ran to get Major, who went down to go bang on the window. He was going, so Major went to the front door and had to knock several times before he got an answer. I am freaking distraught. I'm already so uncomfortable living here, and now this. I called the landlord to let him know in case they start trying to complain about us. Let's read on. Something come as far as the yard. She could be on our side, not even close to his window. Why are you staring in their direction? I immediately ran to get Major, who went down to go bang on the windows. He was gone, so Major went to the front door and had to knock several times. I am freaking distraught. We read this already. I already so uncomfortable living here, and now this. I called the landlord to let him know in case they start trying to complain about us, or if they want to try and start drama and get us kicked out, so he knows why. I am livid. The police have been called. I don't take this stuff lightly. I just want to protect my children. But people always act like you are being dramatic. This is the last thing I want to be dealing with in this market. Now my kids can't play outside like they've been able for years when there was just a sweet old lady living below us. And I guess she posted a picture of this guy. So here's what's happening, people. It seems like Major Kaylor's family has been living in this place. And below, there was an old lady that was living there. She moved out. New neighbors came in. While Major Kaylor's kids were playing outside, someone in that new neighbor, whether it was their children or adult inside that house, was looking out the window at the children, exposing himself. Sound like a guy. Exposing himself to the children. They freaked out. They claimed they called the landlord. They claimed they called the police. Major Taylor went down knocking on the door of his neighbors. Now he's charged with murder. 4 counts. So apparently he vigilante and went into this home. Wow. It's wild. I don't know the details. I don't know the victims. Hold on, let me look at my Telegram. I got a message in my Telegram. Let me see if I can get more specific details on who these victims were. But it's all a fluid situation. My mod is in here, Magnolia, on Sunday, June 18th at 7:30 p.m. Kellogg PD responded to 4 people deceased by gunshots. Majorjon Kaylor is in custody for murdering his 4 neighbors. So I think the motive here is Major John loved his children so much and he wanted to protect his children, and he took it out on people that he felt was a threat to his children. Someone that was exposing their self to his children. And as you saw and I read about Facebook posts that the family had, and the wife was calling Major a loving father who loved his kids and protected his kids. So this is kind of wild, people. A situation. Regardless of how he felt, what these people were doing downstairs, he should have called the police and let the police handle the matter instead of doing it in his own hands, because now he's charged. And he might get support from this. This might be a situation where people feel sorry for this guy because he's only protecting his kids from people exposing. But did it really happen? Did the exposed stuff to his children really happen? Or did they make it worse than it is? It's bad, people, because you got neighbors gone, families destroyed. Should have put it in police hands, man. Never do vigilante justice. Here's the map of the location. So I just wanted to post that this happened here in Kellogg, Idaho. And that's Coeur d'Alene, Kootenai County. So it's just east of that. It's all off of I-90. There's Moscow, Idaho. So about, 2 hours away from Moscow. And I'm not saying that this is connected to Kohberger in any way. I'm just saying that we have another tragedy, 4 homicides in Idaho. Just when this community in this state is already dealing with the Kohberger case. Wonder if the neighbors had previously charges of indecent EXPOSURE. Yeah, who is the neighbors? Who is the neighbors? And now, there's conflicting info. Who could the neighbors be? I'm hearing names like Jacqueline Laughlin or John Lawrence McMurray. Could be John Lawrence McMurray could be the guy. Could be the guy that did this, or one of the victims. But are they really victims? I guess if one person in that house was exposing himself to the children, would that be? Would the rest be considered victims? Would the rest be considered? Now, a GoFundMe has been set up by 2 people. Let's show the Kaylor family. His family is already setting up a GoFundMe right here. Support the Kaylor family. My name is Buddy Kaylor. I am trying to raise money for my sister-in-law and 3 small children for rent, groceries, and the necessities to live after a tragic event. After enduring continuous unthinkable harassment by a neighbor, the current situation has left my brother in jail and the 3 kids and mom without a provider. Thank you for your donations. Anything could help. And $1,400 has already been raised. On the flip side, this seems like this could be the victim's family. Possibly. That's what I'm reading here. But I don't know. Who is the Gardipi family? This GoFundMe is to raise money for the Gardipi family for funeral expenses and to help during this traumatic and horrific time. The family did not deserve to brutally die. The family and loved ones appreciated all the love and support. So is this the family? I read another name, but could this be the family? Was he accusing one of these people of doing something to his kids and then he went and retaliated? It's wild, people. It's literally wild. Majorjon Kaylor, another tragedy. And I'm sure this guy doesn't have a lawyer money like that. And I'll show you again of him arriving in court earlier today. He just arrived. He has a court hearing like now. He's like going through court now. You're not going to get bond on 4 counts of MURDER. You're just not going to get it. This is him. There he is. He's a minor. A minor meaning he works as a minor. Looks like he worked his job, had his own kids. Lives destroyed. He should have. I understand. I can understand. Like, imagine you were, you saw your neighbor doing something to your children. You would be livid. Your mama bear instincts kick in. Your papa bear instincts want to go confront the person that did something to your children. I understand that. But I think this dude should have just called the police. Called the police. I'm not a supporter of vigilante justice. Vigilante means, retaliating on the person that did something to you. It's sad because now 4 people are gone and this guy will be gone for the rest of his life. Sounds like 2 teenage boys and the parents. Idaho is the Wild West with vigilante gun culture and religious zealots. What is in the water? Again, in Idaho. What is in the water? But this is a developing story. And it just shows, again, we've been covering the Kohberger case. And it looks like this case, again, with the circumstances with this case, I would suspect that there are going to be people rallying behind this guy for what he did. But he shouldn't have done it that way, my opinion. No way. You don't go to your neighbor's house, even if whatever your neighbor does, with your own gun and take it out on them for whatever they did and want to get justice that way. Sometimes people get outraged and they react on emotion, or they want to protect their children. And it seems like the motivation for this guy, or the motive for this guy, was to protect his children. At the Shoshone County Courthouse where Kellogg shooting suspect Majorjon Kaylor will make his initial court appearance at 10 a.m. I've submitted a camera request for him to be announced. The affidavit has not been posted yet. So it's in this courthouse here. So True Crime Time says, we have to uphold the law. I do understand this guy. It's a tough one. It's tough. It's tough. Like, I love my cat. I don't have any children, but I love my cat. If I went outside and I saw somebody did something to my cat, I would want to go find the person that did something to my cat and take them head on. But you can't do, that's not self-defense. It's not after the fact. It's just not. And you can't do that. You have to go through a process. There's laws. You contact police and make a report. But in that situation, who knows if, he maybe already did and the police didn't do nothing. So we don't know the situation here. We don't know what happened. Maybe he did call the police and the police are like, we don't have proof. There's nothing we can do. Get along with your neighbors. See you later. Or we'll investigate. Maybe the police came to his door prior and, he was explaining to the police what happened and the police were, listening. And then they just said they went over and talked to the neighbor and they don't have no probable cause to do nothing. And they just told him, we'll look into this matter. And that wasn't enough for him. That wasn't enough for him. 31-year-old Majorjon Kaylor, charged with 4 counts of first-degree MURDER. Prosecutors allege he shot and KILLED 4 neighbors on Sunday. 4 neighbors. Cajun Girl 79. I don't understand why something wasn't done to him when he got suspended in high school for his actions. So I'm reading your comments. And again, this is like one of these things is if laws weren't in place, this is something people would probably do if you tried to do something to your children. If laws weren't in place, this would be your retaliation. This would be your vigilante justice. If we lived in a society 200 years ago or even 150 years ago, this is what possibly would be done. And this would be like normal. But we have rules and laws, and you can't just do this and think. And then not only that, but maybe he went in there and did the person that actually did the exposing, but 3 other victims inside that home that might have had nothing to do with nothing, and they were just in that guy's house, and they were glad he just wanted to take it out on their family. So sad, people. But it is a situation that's starting to blow up on the internet. And I want to kind of be like, share this out with you. I'm going to be looking into it only because it's Idaho and I've been on the Moscow, Idaho case. But you can't just retaliate on people in your own way of vigilante justice. You just can't do it nowadays. And what's sad is this guy probably is guilty and he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Now, does he want that? I don't know. You go and get a gun and go to your neighbor's home and go inside the home. Apparently he went in the home and did what he did. I mean, he's also charged with burglary. Notice with Bryan Kohberger when he went into that home, the Moscow, Idaho home. Well, I'm saying he did because I believe he did it, but he's charged with burglary on top of the murders. The same thing with this guy. He's actually charged with burglary. I guess in Idaho, if you go into a home to do a commission of a crime, not only are you charged with the crime that you did inside the home, but they're going to hit you with burglary because you broke into a home. He's charged with burglary on top of going in. So he busted in this home to do this. You know, like if someone does something to you, and you know the person did something to you, and they're a neighbor or wherever, and they run away from you and then run into their home, do you have the right to chase them down and go into their home and retaliate? No, you don't. Unfortunately, you don't. Maybe 150 years ago, 200 years ago, that was the norm in communities. But you can't do it. And there's no legal justification for it. So 4 counts, first degree, MURDER. No, he won't get the DP for this. Because clearly you see the motive here. But his life is ruined. His life is ruined. Maybe people will rally and get him at least a decent attorney so he can get maybe a fair sentence. But I can't see how you do that. It's so early, but I can't see how you could do that and not get a life sentence. All he had to do was just put it in police hands, man. All right, guys, I just wanted to share that information. When new stuff breaks, I will share with all of you. Wanted to get this out. I'm back in Florida. Did a multi-state working trip. Covered numerous cases. Back at Bryan Kohberger. I think some documents are going to be released soon with this case. The decision on the gag order, whether it should be lifted or not, I believe is coming shortly. They're trying to stay the proceedings. Big June 27th hearing coming up with Kohberger. What's going to happen there? Just a lot of unknowns. Bad things are happening out there. Just, you know, when I see these things more and more, it makes me... Oh, for instance. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, a couple days ago. And Memphis is known in this country, in the United States of America, as one of the most dangerous cities. And I'm driving in Memphis, and this car just comes up and just basically cuts me off. And you know, just... car was totally in the wrong. However, you know, and I wanted to be like, honk my horn and say, what's up, man? Why, you know, because the car was clearly erratic. However, I was mindful that it is Memphis and it's not worth getting into it with anyone. Just take the high road. Fall back, take the high road, because you don't know what people can do. And I'm learning that covering true crime. I don't care if it's the smallest person or the biggest person or female, male, anyone. You can't underestimate anyone out there and their capabilities, because they could snap and get triggered just by the littlest thing. So what I tried to do, and I tried to improve myself, is just try in person with people. Try to treat people with kindness. Respect people's boundaries. Even if they're in the wrong, just take the high road. Walk away. You want to live another day. Walk away. You do want to live another day. Just document it, contact the police, and pray, and just pray. Seriously. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk soon. I'll be following this case. Everyone have a great... It's Tuesday, 6/20/2023. Month's almost over. Year is halfway over. Year is just about halfway over. This year went fast, didn't it? Time flies when you're busy. All right, be safe, guys. God bless.